This is the story of two classmates who couldn't stand each other, but circumstances forced them into a situation where survival was extremely difficult, leaving them stranded together on an island for months. The story begins with a beautiful girl named Emma, a very popular and good student, getting ready early in the morning for school. On the other side is Dean, who is lazy compared to Emma. He wakes up late, brushes his teeth, and immediately sits down to play video games. His father, Jack, tells him he'll be late for school. Emma is dropped off at school by her mother, Barbara, and her younger sister, Stacy. Upon reaching school, Emma meets her best friend, Liz. While they are talking, a student named Stephen approaches and says hi to Emma, which makes Liz tease her. That day in class, their teacher, Mr. Christensen, announces that a bus will leave the next morning at 7 a.m. sharp for a trip to Trinity Island. As he is speaking, Emma arrives late to class. Dean follows her in and bumps into her, apologizing and calling her "sorry, princess." When Mr. Christensen continues giving details about the trip, Liz whispers to Emma that Dean is also going, only because of his father's money, and she makes a face at Dean. During lunch, Liz tells her friends about the morning interaction between Emma and Stephen. She says they will have a whole week on the trip to work their magic and get Emma to have some action with Stephen. Emma, however, insists they should focus on the trip itself and not that kind of stuff. While they are talking, Emma notices Dean cutting an apple with a knife. Soon after, Miss Collier comes to Dean and scolds him for bringing a knife to school, before taking him to the principal's office. Liz then tells her friends that Emma shouldn't be with guys like Dean, especially when a hot guy from school likes her. The next morning, Emma gets ready for the trip and thanks her mother, Barbara, and father, Phil, for letting her go. Dean, on the other hand, doesn't want to go. His father, Jack, reminds him how much effort he put in to get him a spot on the trip, even after he broke school rules, so Dean finally agrees to go. Mr. Christensen tells everyone to board the bus. While getting on, Stephen asks Emma how she is, which again makes Liz tease Emma, but Emma ignores it. Within a short time, they reach Trinity Island. As they get off the bus, Miss Collier tells everyone they can enjoy the pool for a while, but they must return before dinner, and the official program will start the next day. After some time, Emma and her friends go to the pool. Emma meets Stephen there, and they all have fun together. Dean, however, is watching them all alone from a balcony. That same evening, Liz, a friend of Emma's, tells Emma that Stephen has invited them to a party on a local boat nearby. Emma declines, but her friends insist and manage to persuade her. They go to the boat for the party. Once there, Emma looks for Helen, but then she sees Stephen kissing another girl. Seeing this, Emma starts to leave. Dean, who is also watching from the side, tells Emma, "Your boyfriend is having fun." Emma snaps back at Dean, telling him that he shouldn't care about any of this. Suddenly, the police arrive because they were tipped off that students at the party were taking drugs. The police instruct everyone to move to the front of the boat. Just then, Emma slips and falls into the water. Dean sees her fall, so he jumps into the water to save her and then pulls her into a small dinghy boat. The small boat was tied to the larger one, so Dean cuts the rope. When Emma asks why, he says, "I don't want to get involved with the police mess. We'll get back to the big boat after they leave." However, within moments, the big boat sails far away from them and then a storm starts brewing. Dean realizes the dinghy doesn't have a motor. Suddenly, a large wave hits them and they both hold onto the boat tightly. The morning arrives. Due to the waves, they were both carried, along with the boat, into the Arabian Sea. Dean's phone was lost, so he asks Emma for hers, but Emma's phone has no network signal. Emma then tells Dean they should have followed the party boat. Dean replies, "Don't worry, someone will come and get us." While they are talking, Emma suddenly spots an island in the distance. Dean begins steering the boat towards the island. After much difficulty, they both reach the island. Upon arriving, Emma checks her phone for a signal again, but there is none. Dean finds a flare gun in the boat and takes it. They both start walking inland, hoping to find help. Meanwhile, back at the hotel, Mr. Christensen cancels the rest of the trip due to the previous night's party. Liz tells Miss Collier that Emma hasn't returned to the hotel. She thought maybe Emma was with someone else last night, so she didn't mention it earlier, but she last saw Emma on the party boat. Mr. Christiansen then takes attendance and realizes that Dean is also missing. They now know that both Emma and Dean are missing from the group. The police question Emma's friends. Miss Collier asks the police if there is a way to find them. The police say that such cases happen often and they might return on their own, but if they are stuck somewhere in the sea, finding them could be difficult. When Dean's father, Jack, hears that his son is missing, he immediately goes to the school. He meets Emma's mother, Barbara, and Phil also arrives there. Everyone is distressed and starts questioning the principal about the missing children, but the principal fails to give a proper answer, so the three parents leave. On the island, Emma and Dean continue walking, and after some distance, they see a beautiful waterfall deep inside the jungle. Dean loves it and asks Emma to take a picture of it, but Emma refuses. She says, "We are stranded here and you are enjoying it? I needed good marks for this trip project. I need to study at Princeton University. If we don't get out of here soon, everything will be ruined." They continue onward, and a few hours later, they both reach the very edge of the island. But so far, they haven't found a path or any help. Seeing this, they decide to head back towards the boat. They walk back to where they landed and find that their boat is gone. The sea waves have carried it. All they find there is a life jacket. They were exhausted from walking all day and the sun sets. Dean builds a fire and they decide to spend the night there. Dean notices Emma is cold, so he takes off his shirt and gives it to her. They talk, hoping that their parents will probably find them by tomorrow. The next morning, Dean wakes up and sees that Emma is not there. He looks for her and finds Emma writing SOS on the seashore. He asks her what she's doing, and she replies, "Trying to save our lives. And we need to find water to drink." Dean then goes for a swim, and Emma watches him. Back at the hotel, Mr. Christiansen informs the parents that the police are searching and they found a small boat that the two of them might have been on. Jack suggests that if the police can't do anything, they should hire a private rescue team, but Mr. Christiansen insists that the police are doing a good job and will find the children soon. Meanwhile, Emma is collecting drinking water when she starts feeling strange. She has a sensation that someone is nearby and watching her, so she panics and leaves the area. After this, they both use leaves to build a small hut to protect themselves from the sun. A little later, Emma writes a large SOS on the seashore so that if a rescue team flies over, they will be seen. They start looking for edible food on the island and eating whatever they find. Dean finds a banana tree, and they both eat the bananas until they are full. The island is very hot, and Emma can't wear full pants, but she can't just wear panties, so she cuts her full pants to make them shorts. Then Emma sees Dean come and sleep in the hut, so she comes and sleeps beside him. Suddenly, Dean turns towards Emma and puts his hand on her. Emma likes it and says nothing. The next day, while Emma is bathing in the waterfall, Dean approaches and asks for sunscreen. Emma tells Dean, "I am bathing here, go to the other side." But Dean says, "You are the one who told me to stand guard here." Hearing this, Emma reveals there is someone else on the island. "That's why I asked you to watch." Back at the hotel, Barbara is extremely worried about Emma. News reports state that the case of Emma and Dean's disappearance has become official, and the police now believe they are dead and are searching for their bodies. But Emma's friends still believe Emma and Dean are alive, and Barbara feels the same way.
Phil is preparing to go home because Emma's younger sister, Stacy, is alone, but Barbara is still very distressed. Phil hugs Barbara and tells her Emma will be found. The next day, Jack takes a helicopter with Barbara to search for Emma and Dean again. On the island, as night is approaching, Emma tells Dean that she misses her family very much. Suddenly, Dean finds a human skull there. Emma is terrified, saying, "This person must have been stranded here like us, and this is what happened to them. Now the same might happen to us." Dean comforts her, saying, "This was probably a fisherman or a smuggler who died here, but we have our parents waiting for us, and we are not alone." He assures her that if we keep supporting each other like this, we will never die here, and one day we will surely go back home. After saying this, he starts kissing Emma. It was Emma's first kiss, and she liked it. Night had fallen. Dean then breaks all boundaries, and a storm breaks out on the island. Emma is very happy enjoying this storm for the first time. The next morning, Emma wakes up and finds Dean is not there. She calls out for him but can't find him. Panicked, Emma goes into the jungle to search for him. A little further on, she sees Dean digging a hole. Emma doesn't understand why he is doing this. Suddenly, Emma falls and hurts her knee. Dean immediately tends to her injury and tells her nothing will happen to you. They then bathe in the waterfall, and here Dean tells Emma that his mother died in a car accident. Emma listens attentively to his story. A little later, it starts raining, and Dean starts having fun in the rain, and Emma watches him, happy. They start dancing in the rain, and Dean puts a flower in Emma's hair. Emma then tells Dean, "I want to enjoy the storm again." Dean then starts preparing to bring the storm back once more. Meanwhile, the news reports that a month has passed since Emma and Dean went missing, and the police believe they are no longer alive, so they have officially called off the search. But Emma's friends still believe Emma and Dean are alive, and Barbara feels the same way. She goes out again with Jack in a helicopter to search for her daughter. They are distributing flyers with information about Emma and Dean to everyone. After doing all this, Jack tells Barbara that they have tried everything, but Emma and Dean still haven't been found, and now perhaps they should go back home. Hearing this, Barbara becomes sad and goes home. On the island, Dean is telling Emma about the green flash, which his mother told him about. He explains that the light appears as the sun sets, but Dean has never seen it before. A few more weeks pass, and they both start enjoying the beautiful environment of the island. They swim in the sea and have a lot of fun. They become very close to each other, and whenever they feel like it, they enjoy the storms and earthquakes, referring to their intimacy. After all this, Emma asks Dean, "How did you do it the first time, and who was she?" Dean tells her that when he was in school, he had a friend who was older than him. Dean knew that this was Emma's first time, so he asks, "How was it?" She replies, "It was good, but because of the storm, sand got in the wrong places." Emma then says, "I want to experience it more," and Dean agrees, "Okay." Next we see them going into the jungle to get some fruit. Dean goes a little ahead to pick the fruit when suddenly they hear the sound of an airplane. They both run toward an open area, and Dean frantically searches Emma's bag for the flare gun to signal the plane, but he can't find it. By then, the plane has flown far away. Emma searches for the flare gun again, but she also can't find it. Emma suspects that there is someone else on the island who is stealing their things. A few more days pass, but only one plane has flown over them so far, and no one has come to rescue them. They sit in the hut and talk, concluding that they should give up hope of ever going home and decide to spend the rest of their lives together in the jungle here. Suddenly, Dean hears the sound of an animal, so Dean goes into the jungle to look for it. Emma gets worried about Dean, so she follows him. As Dean goes a little further, he sees a black panther. Seeing it, he starts running, and after running quite a distance, he suddenly falls to the ground. When Emma rushes to Dean, she sees that Dean has a blood-soaked knife and has killed the Black Panther. We then see that all of Emma and Dean's friends and parents have started living their lives without them. On the island, Dean and Emma have learned to survive and have decided to spend their lives there as their hope of being rescued has diminished. They have learned to hunt and live in the hut they built, giving up all hope and happily spending their days supporting each other. One day, Emma starts throwing up, so Dean sees this and asks her, "Are you pregnant?" Emma says, "No, the vomiting just happened." Emma then lies down with Dean to feel better, but as they're talking, Emma's lost things start falling from above. When they look up, they see a monkey in the tree throwing their belongings. They notice that the monkey is holding the flare gun that Dean couldn't find that day. Emma shows the monkey a banana, so it drops the gun. Just then, they hear the sound of a helicopter from above. They run to the open area, and Emma loads the gun and fires. The helicopter crew sees them, and they're rescued from the island. Finally, they both return home after 3 months.
Emma and Dean's friends and parents are overjoyed to see them at the airport. Their parents take them back to their respective homes. That same night, Dean goes to see Emma at her house, and they talk about how strange it feels to be back home. Dean is about to kiss Emma, but she stops him and says her parents keep checking on her every 10 minutes and he should probably leave now. She tells him that her parents are hosting a party to celebrate their return, and he should come. The next day, everyone gathers for the party. Emma's parents start giving a speech to everyone about their children's return. After the speech, Stacy asks Dean, "Why aren't you with everyone?" Dean says, "I don't like socializing with everyone." Dean then signals for Emma to come with him, but Emma ignores him and doesn't come. Seeing this, Dean leaves the party. After this, things return to normal. Emma becomes very popular after returning from the island, but Dean remains alone. Whenever Emma and Dean pass each other, they just look at one another. A few days later, Emma calls Dean, but Dean doesn't answer the call. Then we see Stacy going into Emma's room and telling her, "We missed you so much when you were missing, and Mom and Dad were so worried. We thought we had lost you completely, but today we are all together and very happy." Emma tells Stacy, "You are a very good sister," and they both decide to go to the prom party together. Meanwhile, we see Dean going to his mother's grave and crying a lot, missing her. On the night of the prom party, Dean is watching TV when his father asks him, "Would you like to wear my coat to the party?" On the other side, Emma arrives at the party with her sister. Liz approaches her and leads Emma forward to give her a surprise. Emma then sees Dean standing outside in the rain, wearing a coat and waiting for her. Seeing this, Emma leaves the party and goes to Dean. Here, they are both very happy and start kissing. The story ends with this scene.